this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Chapter 9.5 Notes, Day 2. Today we are talking about factoring quadratic trinomials if possible. Now, one of the things we always have to do is to check to see if there's a GCF for all of the terms. Identify what A, B, and C are, and that's where we write the factors of AC, find the two factors that add up to B and multiply to AC, and then split the middle term of the GCF by grouping in pairs. Okay, so looking at example below, what do these numbers all have in common? Now, if you can't think of anything, I would always start with the lowest number to see if that goes into all of them. So, does 2 go into all of those numbers? Yeah, it does. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Now, can I take a variable out too? What do you think? For this one, actually, you cannot. So we're just going to take out the 2. And now when we do this, the 2 comes out front. And then we divide everything out, which gives us x squared plus 10x plus 24. So this is when we say that A is 1, B is 10, and C is 24. So 1 times 24, because that's the A times C, is 24. So the factors of 24 are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. And I want to know what numbers add up to get to 10, but multiply to get to 24. So what numbers can we put inside of there? Well, 4 and 6. Because 4 plus 6, that gives us 10. And 4 times 6 gives us 24. Now, we can keep the 2 out front, or we can just make sure to rewrite that so we don't forget it, so it comes all the way to the bottom. We have to split the middle term, and we get 4x plus 6x plus 24. Split it up. We're going to take out an x from the first one, and it's a positive 6 from the back. And when we rewrite that, we have x plus 4, and then 6, and then we get x plus 4, which is good because that's our checkpoint right there. We want to make sure that those are the exact same. Oops. Excuse me. So now, when we rewrite all of this, we have x plus 4, because that's what those create. And then the x and the plus 6 come together, and we get x plus 6. So our final answer, x plus 4, x plus 6. Okay? So the only thing that's different now is we're checking to see if we can factor, and we factor something out, and then we're doing the same thing as we learned about the other day. Okay? So let's go through some examples. The directions tell us to factor each of the following trinomials by splitting the middle term. No shortcuts. Some trinomials may have a GCF and some may not be factorable, which happens. Okay? So, looking at 2, let's get a bigger highlighter. 2, 10, and 8. Is there a number that can go into all of those? It's still highlighted. Yep. We can take out a 2 from everything. And when we rewrite that, the 2 comes out front, and we got m squared plus 5m plus 4. Okay, so I don't want to forget about that 2 right there. So I'm going to take it all the way to the bottom so it's in my final answer. Now, A is 1, B is 5, C is 4. This is our new part. We're not going to the original. So the factors of 4 are 1 and 4, 2 and 2. So out of those, which ones add up to give us 5, but multiply to give us 4? What numbers? There's only 2 combinations that you can choose from. And that's 1 and 4. Because 1 plus 4 gives us 5, and 1 times 4 gives us 4. So when we split that middle term, we get m squared plus 1m plus 4m plus 4. I'm going to divide by m and divide by 4. All this stuff, guys, is review. So the m comes out front, and we got m plus 1. And the positive 4 comes back, and we got m plus 1, which is good because that's our checkpoint. So now when we're writing this, the m and the plus 4 come together, and we get m plus 4. And the m and the 1 give us m plus 1. So our answer is 2 times m plus 4 times m plus 1. Okay, let's go through another example. Let's look at 2. Now, what do these guys have in common? See how all of them have a variable? We can pull out a variable from all of these. Okay, so we're going to pull out an n. So the n comes out front, and we're left with n squared plus 9n plus 8. Now I don't want to forget the n, so I'm going to bring that all the way down here. So it's in my final answer. So now a equals 1, b equals 9, and c equals 8. So we want the factors of 8, which are 1 and 8, 2 and 4. So what numbers add to get to 9 and multiply to get to 8? Yeah. 1 times 8 gives us 9, and 1 times 8 gives us 8. So we got to split that middle term. N squared plus 1n plus 8n plus 8. Draw the line. I'm going to take out an n from the first and an 8 from the second. So we're left with n plus 1, and positive 8, n plus 1, which is nice because our checkpoint right there, we got the right answer. And the n plus 8, so those two are going to come together. We get n plus 8, n plus 1. And then the last thing we gotta do is just put a box around our final answer. Okay? So always, always, always check to see if there's a GCF. Alright, number 3. We'll do 3 together. So let's take a look. Is there a number that goes into all 3 of those? There is. Any ideas? Remember, always start with the lowest number, and if that goes into all of them, you found it. And for this one, we did, because 3 goes into all of those, and we're left with 3 y squared minus 15, not 15, Mr. Grice, minus 5y plus 6. Okay? So, Bring it all the way to the bottom so we don't forget it in our answer. And now we know that A is 1, B is -5, and C is 6. 1 times 6 is 6. So the factors of 6 are 1 and 6, 2 and 3. What numbers add to get to -5? To multiply to get to +6. I want you guys to try and think about that for a second. The only way that I know, well, let's try this. What about 1 and -6? That's good, but do 1 and -6 give us +6? It doesn't, okay? So we have, it's not those numbers. But what about 2 and 3? The only way for the top one to work is if both of them are negative. So if both of my bottoms are negative, -2 times -3, well, that gives us +6. So it works for both cases. So now we know what we want to split. Y squared minus 2y minus 3y plus 6. Take out a y out of the first one, and you get y minus 2. And now our first term is negative, so I'm going to take out a -3, which gives us -3, and then y minus 2, which is good because our checkpoint right there come together. And then our checkpoint right here, those two will go together. So when we put together our final answer, it's y minus 2 and y minus 3. And I know I just didn't write them in the correct order, so I'm just going to flip them. Our answer doesn't matter which order it is. I just want to make sure that I had the right arrows pointing to the right things. So, it's my answer. I'm going to put a box around it, and I'm done. Now, number 4, I want you guys to try it. You are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video, see how you do. Give you a little hint, it's just like problem number 2. Okay, good luck. Okay, and after you're done with that, you should have gotten W, W minus 6, and W minus 4. And now remember, if you got these two in a separate order, that's okay. That means the same thing, just don't forget the W. Alright, number 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So, take a look at all of those. Now, the first thing I notice is that I can take out a 2. But now, that's not the only thing we can take out because all of the terms have an x. So we can also take out an x from all of those. So when we rewrite this, the 2x comes out front, and we're left with x squared plus x minus 12. So a equals 1, b equals 1, and c equals -12. When we multiply those two together, I need the factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And out of that group, which numbers add up to get to 1, but multiply to get to -12? Any ideas? Well, the only ones that are 1 or apart are 3 and 4. So we have to do some combination of 3 and 4. So if I did -4, would 3 plus -4 give us +1? No, it wouldn't. Okay. What about -3? Well, -3 plus 4, that gives us 1. But does negative 3 times 4 give us negative 12? It sure does. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. I'm going to bring that 2x down because I almost forgot. So we got x squared. Split the middle term to negative 3x plus 4x minus 12. Take out an x. We get x minus 3. Back here I'm going to take out a 4. So we're left with positive 4 and then x minus 3. So good. Our check right here, which is good. And then our x is our other one. So our final answer would be 2x times x plus 4 times x minus 3. And since I'm all done with it, I'll put my box around it. Okay, number 6, you are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and see how you do. Okay, now that's the answer, so if you have any questions on that, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself for extra help. Okay, same with 7 and 8. You guys are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and see how you do. Once again, the answers for 7 and 8. So if you need help with those ones, come in. Let's move on to the rest of these. So what I want to do first is we're going to label A is 1, B is negative 2, and C is 3. So when we multiply A times C, we want the factors of 3, which are just 1 and 3. So which groups of those add up to negative 2, but multiply to 3? What combination? Well, let's try 1 and negative 3. That works here. Well, 1 and negative 3, that doesn't work there. But if we try negative 1, that doesn't work. What about, whoops, what about positive 1? Does that work? No, it doesn't. There's no combination of ones that work here. So the answer to this, what we would say, is this can't be factored. And we're going to put ones like that where we cannot, there's no way we can figure out what numbers go into both of those. All right, let's look at number 10. A is 1, B is negative 7, and C is negative 4. Remember to multiply 1 times negative 4, so we want the factors of 4, which are 1 and 4, 2 and 2. So what combination of those numbers add up to negative 7, but multiply to get to negative 4? Can you guys think of anything? Because 1 and 4 doesn't get us to 7. Like we can do negative 1 times 4, and that works here. But negative 1 plus 4 doesn't work. And I know if we do the 2's, we're going to get the same thing. So once again, this can't be factored, okay? And when you do problems like this, you need to show your work, and this is right there showing your work. Okay, that proves to me that you tried this. Right? So I want you to try number 11 and 12 and see what you get. All right? Pause the video and good luck. Okay, well there's the answers for 11 and 12. I showed some of the work on number 11. But if you guys are having trouble with this, come see us for help. Okay? That's going to be it for Algebra 1, Chapter 9.5 Notes, Day 2. As always, if you need any assistance, come find Ms. Carranza or myself. We'd love to help you out. Thanks for watching.